one of the things that they set up was to go after the sudden death cases again. And what they did was they created a mobile intensive care unit. Now, Moby Pig, as we delightfully called it, is in Dr. Copus's word, who we'll talk about in a second, was given to be airborne at any given intersection, anytime, day or night. And they would send the docs out there to help do their thing. And there were several volunteers that he got to go out there, these really cool people. Some had even come back from, Vietnam or used to working with medics out there. So it was cool to have the firefighters. And in fact, what we would call protocols now was how they established I got to intubate this guy, or I got to shock this guy. Okay, shock, all right. And then, okay, I got to intubate this guy. That's me. Okay. And I got to get an IV, and that's me too. It wasn't being in the CCU where you could say, respiratory therapist, get the tube in, nurse, please put an IV in, and you, please get me an adrenaline. You were out there on your own, and you had to create priorities and all that. And also do it in front of the floor show in the restaurant, whatever. And it was a very different experience for them. Any event, in one situation, they started thinking, why can't you just shock? I'm getting this IV and the guy's refibrillated. Can you shock him for me? And, the paramedic is going, moi? Yeah, he can. What if I hurt him? He ain't going to hurt him. He's dead, So the mentality came along, maybe we could train some of these firefighters. And it turned out that a dozen people were, let's say a couple were volunteered, because I know them personally. And they said one was an Army medic and he didn't want to do it, but he ended up doing it for Garden Victory. And so they got out there and they were fantastic. We meaning our team that I eventually went to work for, because I wasn't there yet, trained these guys to the extent where they really not only showed them how to behave on scene, in a sense, with other people there in a very physician-like manner and professional manner, but they also taught them to make sure they knew this stuff and that they were very confident to the end where Dr. Cobb could say, you go to the legislature and say, we're so confident with these guys, because people, even the doctors and nurses in the city, didn't want these guys doing this stuff. And so he was so confident that he could go to the legislature and say that we would let these people take care of my family member, and that they put their licenses on the line. They said, if something goes wrong, you hold us accountable for it. So in a sense, there was a public trust that those original doctors were going to basically provide a service that in a sense for everybody's patients out there, and they would be accountable for them. So you can imagine how well they were trained. They were so well trained that, you could listen to a voice on the radio and know George is having a problem with the custody case, or Ed was having a problem with his ex-wife, or Bill could put an IV in backwards blindfolded in the back of a moving rig on the way to the hospital.